What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's been a while. It's hot outside. Welcome back. First of all, I want to say thank you to the people who have been subscribing over these past, 3 months? Maybe even more, 3 or 4 months. You've been subscribing and I haven't even been posting anything. So I want to say thank you so much for that. Everybody can watch videos, but, to sit there and, subscribe and say, hey, I want to see more of you and what you're doing, it means a lot. So thank you very much for that. Now let's talk about the Range Rover Sport 2023. It is amazing. Special thanks to the sales team and management at Miami Range Rover North Dade. They gave me a special invitation to go to a private event to see the unveiling of the vehicle. It was really cool. It was on South Beach, actually at a hotel I used to work at. So it's kind of nice to be there, pulling up. Roll that window up. So it was really nice to be there, back seeing some people I used to work with at this private event. So always cool. So everyone has seen the new Range Rover. They've seen the pictures of it, but probably the biggest what the heck issue with this vehicle is that while this current generation starts at around $60,000, the new one, the 2023, starts at around $80,000. There's a $20,000 increase from that vehicle to this vehicle. Base, starting, without options. And Range Rovers likes to charge you for options. So, also what's crazy is that everybody who has a Range Rover, they know that the base model is the SE. That's the one that's like, you got the entry level, the SE. This vehicle is the HSE, which is a level higher. Well, Range Rover decides to keep the SE trim level name, which everyone's thinking is the base model, and they get rid of the HSE. And so now they only have the SE Dynamic, and then there's an autobiography, and then I guess for the limited time there's going to be the first edition. The one that was at the event was the first edition. Why keep the SC? Why not start at HSC so that people realize, oh yeah, and Range Rover says that the price increase is because they are offering a lot more options. And I can attest to that. The vehicle is absolutely next level when you're inside it. We'll talk about that in a minute. But they said the options on their vehicle on the base is now closer to the options of the HSC, which increases the price. I completely understand that. But why keep the name of SE? Why not make it HSC, or something like that, HSC Dynamic? And to be fair, the current generation does have a lot of trim levels. It starts with the SE, and then the HSC, and then the HST, and then there's the HSC Dynamic, the Autobiography Dynamic, and then you get into the SVR, and then there's an SVR Carbon Edition. So, the current generation only has just a few trim levels, but I expect there to be an SVR down the road. And more trim levels will come, as Range Rover sometimes does special editions and things like that. But it's just that SE name. I don't know if people are going to get the SE because, that's where it starts. And typically the, more base models tend to sell better than the higher end ones because it was such a high jump. Oh, wow. There's a beautiful Lamborghini Huracan Evo Spider rear-wheel drive in Rosso Mars. Nice. Or is it going to push people up to that next level, that autobiography, because they don't want that SE name? There's also the option of just debadging your Range Rover, which I expect a lot of people to do. All of the engines are now with a mild hybrid situation. Some have a plug-in hybrid, and the V8 is still alive. But let's talk about the vehicle. clean lines, exactly what Range Rover did with the Range Rover full-size version, and it looks amazing. You would think that maybe taking away some of these creases and things like that would make the vehicle look plain, but it just looks so sleek. And it really works on the vehicle because the Range Rover Sport is such a boxy design, so just to clean it up, the lines, it looks so good, but it's still, the character lines are unmistakably a Range Rover, and I think they did a fantastic job. I'm driving right now and I see the vents on the hood of this vehicle, which they may or may not be functional, but there is a hole in there so you can, stick something down in there. The new one does not have that. They're just like little plastic pieces that are there that just give the aesthetic, but without any type of function. The pop-out door handles, which were originally introduced on the Velar, went to the now full-size Range Rover, the new one, and now they have made their way to the new Range Rover Sport. I drove the Velar a couple of years ago, and I noticed that the door mechanism operation for those pop-out handles were actually quite loud. So I'm interested to see if Range Rover has refined that operation to make it a little bit quieter. So in a previous video, I was talking about the ambient lighting in this vehicle and how I paid more for that package, and in retrospect, maybe not the best idea because it's not a really good ambient lighting package in this generation. However, the next one, Range Rover did greatly improve it. And while it's not BMW or Mercedes level, if it's not that much of a cost, I would say get it because it's so nice now, and it's worth it. I can definitely recommend it now. A lot of times when you test drive a new vehicle or go look at a new vehicle, especially a vehicle that's the next generation of your current one, your vehicle automatically, instantaneously looks old. And you're like, ugh. That does not happen with this vehicle. Range Rover did a great job of kind of future-proofing this vehicle. Really, it's because of these screens and the infotainment screens. This dual screen configuration really helps this vehicle feel modern. And in fact, getting out of this vehicle and then sitting into the new one, you didn't feel like it was just like, oh my God, so new. You don't feel like it's just that your vehicle or this vehicle is old. You just feel like the new one's different. That's it. This is really important because if you're looking at this vehicle in 5 to 7 years, this vehicle will still be very technologically advanced and very comfortable and modern looking. Now, I'm saying this for this generation post facelift. So that would be any Range Rover between 2018 and 2022. That generation. Now, this generation came out in 2014, and there was a facelift on 2017. So if you're looking at 2014 to 2017, those are going to feel old. They actually already feel old because they don't have the dual screen, and they're a little bit more analog than this vehicle is. So if you're going to look at this vehicle, again, the 18 to 22 is where you want to look at it on the used car side, because it's still going to feel so nice inside. So now with the vehicle looking at a glance like the current generation, it being just as off-road capable as the current generation, where is this $20,000? Where do you see that? And the truth of the matter is, it's as soon as you get inside. It is such an obvious and immediately noticeable step up in luxury than this generation. Every part of it has been looked at, redesigned, refined, and it just changes the entire experience of the Range Rover Sport. Things like the cup holders in the back. In my center, I just pull it down, the cup holders are there. The other one, they have this, almost theatrical operation where they open up as a clamshell. The pull handles, which they're here on this vehicle, but this is very actually not the best feeling plastic, completely plastic. Those are not like that in the new generation. The gauge cluster, as amazingly clear as it is, and I cannot stress enough how clear the graphics are on it. The new one has this almost floating design. Well, it is kind of a floating design that wraps around. I'm very happy to say that Range Rover did not go with the, I guess, current generation Range Rover full size and have that rotary knob for the gear selector. This has a little, has a substantial handle you can hold on to, and the new one does the same. Even though it is redesigned, it's still something that you can actually hold on to. Certain features that have always been a tradition with Range Rover are these armrests with the dial that makes them adjustable. That's also in the new vehicle. It's such an incredible, the leather is so soft. The headrest, even on the passenger side, they actually fold out like on an airplane. So they're more, it's such a great vehicle. And you know, there were things that I saw were like some plastic parts that were not finished. Again, it was a pre-production model, but this vehicle is going to do so well. And you know, if you're not comparing it to, if you didn't know the price of the current model now, there is some justification in saying, hey, this is a Range Rover. It starts at $80,000, you know, because of the level of luxury that's there. Its capability is still, you know, it's still the best. I guess the really big thing is that coming from, you know, this generation to the next, you're like, wow, that's a lot of money. But if you take it for what it is, the Range Rover itself, the Range Rover Sport, it is a beautiful vehicle, and I am so excited to be able to drive it one day here soon. I don't think even the orders have opened up. My sales lady was telling me that they're going to do it a little bit differently than they did for the full-size Range Rover. There are still like back orders of the full-size Range Rover. People have still not gotten them. It's going to be a while before these people get them. But apparently for the Range Rover full-size, they are going to prioritize current owners and help them to get into the vehicles sooner. So looking forward to that happening later on in the year. It's still not opened yet for the 2023 model year. So as far as I know, for I've been told, it's not available yet to even start to order. So when that happens, I will definitely bring you guys along. Thank you guys again for subscribing. Really means a lot. And I will see you on the next one. Later.